Right. Yeah. Cool. Okay, that should be live. You. Let's. Anyways, if Yahtzee's not here. Okay, there you are. Anyways, hopefully, some more people can come if they have questions. So I'm just gonna go over some combat stuff and how to especially start that without breaking the system, which is a bit of effort. So first of all, you need a few squads, a few different types of squads. So first of all, with the squads, you can only have, so you need one squad that has a platoon leader of some kind for a platoon. And you can only have one platoon leader in any platoon. So make sure that you have a separate command squad or that contains your platoon leader. Next up here, you can see with my other squads, my other normal squads, they don't have platoon leaders. They only have squad leaders. That's not necessary in the game yet, but just keep in mind that if I want other squads in my platoon, then um, make sure that they don't have platoon leaders. Otherwise, things get pretty messy. So make sure you have a squad with one platoon leader. This in Kenyan Infantry Squad Command. For example, okay, so now that you have that, with the platoon, as you can see with all of my platoon, they have command squad and then the other squads. That should be your format. You can have as many squads as you like in here, but yeah. So let's just load up the map, and this is where a lot of people get confused. It's not labeled that well. Okay. So let's pick a suitable place. Let's say somewhere here, a nice high elevation point. So here you can see the stats on the top left. about where your cursor is. You can see the elevation and then the coordinates. So here, first of all, when you want to select somewhere, I have a much easier tool. You can just press right bracket on your keyboard. And now that fills in those slots for where that is. So let's say here. And I'm going to show you kind of one of the easier ones. Kind of like, well, let's just go over the direct behavior system first. So here I'm going to spawn. And on this column, this is the team. This is what team it is for the spawn column. So 0 is going to be the player team, and 1 is going to be the enemy team. So there's only 2 teams for now. So 0 is friendly, 1 is enemy. So I'm going to spawn in a friendly platoon. Here you'll select from the platoons that you have. Also really important, please do configure your firearm usages for everything. And also magazine usage. So now that I have these, I can see my squad spawns in, and they spawn in diagonally just to show you that how many units there are. They actually all spawn in on the same tile. Okay, so now that I have these guys in, I'm going to right bracket on a different location. So let's say I want my units to move east here. And now we're going to start learning how to use behaviors. You don't have any names showing up for them. They should show up a bit later. I think they automatically show up. Are you in full screen? You can press F11 to switch between full screen and window. That sometimes causes the names to appear. Otherwise, if they don't, once you start running turns, then I feel like the name should show up. What I've seen from other testers in their combat scenarios that they have been able to do, they have had here. Hopefully it will show up for you a bit later. So here I've selected somewhere to the right of my platoon. Okay. Here. So on the first index, here we're gonna have to pick which squad that we're using. So this is a bit inconvenient for now because the units aren't actually stored in their location. The units know where they are, but the map doesn't know where they. So here I'm choosing the index of the unit that I spawned, which is 0, because this is the first unit that I've spawned. So if I spawned in another platoon, that would be index number 1. And if I spawn another one, that would be index number 2. So it starts from 0. So in this case, I've selected my first platoon, designated by the number 0. And then on the next input box, we are going to choose a behavior. So our behaviors are numbers as well. 0 is idle, 1 is move in a column, And then 2 is to move in a perpendicular line from their location and the destination. I'm going to choose behavior 2. Want them spread out. And then I will press apply. I only need to press it once. So now that they've received the command, we can start running. I'll press the run 5-second. And for cinematic effect, you can press F1 to remove the command screen, and then you can press space um, to run turns in this configuration. So here, it does take some time because the map's really big for the pathfinding algorithm to do its thing. And you can see here, so once I've run enough turns, now you can see my units have marched all the way there and have spread out in a nice line. So hopefully you guys can do that. And if I want them to move somewhere else now, I will right bracket somewhere, let's say here, southwest. And then I can apply the same behavior. We need to once, and then start running turns. All right, and you can see how these guys spread out configuration here that way. So just to get more familiar, let's pick another location. Right brackets. This time behavior 1, which is not moving. Have their names shown up. If they haven't shown up, that means your game has technically crashed. Because something is probably wrong with your play. At least that's the most likely error case that I've experienced. And with pulse playthroughs. You restarted. Can you post your platoon composition in the Discord as well as the squad? Just take like a full screenshot of both of them. No, yeah. Yeah. Just want to make sure that you haven't done anything weird that the game doesn't like. Okay. So again, once you've spawned, you want to pick the unit. So when you are moving around, your input box will fill with garbage. So you will have to clear that out. And then pick the behavior. You can choose either behavior 1 or 2. Again, 1 is moving in a column, 2 is moving into a line. Okay, it's moving. All right, that's great. Yeah, so you need to set them to attack each other. So first of all, what I'm going to do is to spawn an enemy squad. I'm not sure if you've done that, but just here on my end. So I'll pick a location to spawn the enemy squad. So there is line of sight in the game, so make sure that they can see each other. Alright, so here I have spawned my standard aggressor platoon that uses the stuff that I make on video. And then here, you will need to set a different behavior. So I'm going to select my squads, the friendly squads, to fire at the enemy squads. They aren't firing. They choose who to fire. It's kind of automatic. So again, 0, that's the first squad I spawned, is my friendly squad. And then here I will choose behavior 3, which is to shoot. And then we simply need to apply the behavior, and then the first step is that they will reload, and then they will start shooting. If your units aren't shooting, there is something wrong with your configuration or something wrong with your magazine carries. So once I've applied the behavior, let me start running turns. Yeah, so it might take a long while for you to get a hit because hit chances are very. As you can see, it takes me quite a while. If you want to make sure that it does work, you want to move your units closer to each other so that they have a high hit chance. So you can see if it's working. In this case, at standard combat distances, you'll see that accuracy is quite low. You can see that out of all units that are firing, it's a hit in this 5-second increment. So with my rifle, I know that they're going to have approximately 3 firing ticks and then 1 reload tick, because I set them to fire 2 shots per 5-second increment. They have 5 shots in their mag, so that takes 3, and then 1 to reload. So this is kind of a poor example because of their very low accuracy. But if I spawn, let's say, a brand new squad right beside them, and let's say one with a machine gun, the later Elfcanian upgraded first. Now, this one is going to be the 3rd squad that I spawned in, so it's going to be index number 2. And then we can start. Just wiped each other out. Okay. Yeah. So you can see right next to each other, they take a lot of hits, die. Okay, so that's basic combat. So let me just restart the game. I should really add. Oh yeah, so you only see, if you only see the red lines, it's because the squad gets wiped out in that turn, so it doesn't get to show how many hits they have. It's only in longer distances when there's a lower hit chance, when you will see the actual hit numbers. So I'm just gonna clear my screen, and then now, yeah, you should restart, and then we can set up an actual battle. So that's just the basic behavior stuff, and then I'll show you how to use the objective points. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you might want to add some more ammunition to your squad. Yeah, 45 rounds is nothing. It's barely anything. My standard combat loadout is at least 250 per person. I think I dedicate at least 600 to my machine gun. It's more, at least 800. So just wait and do that. No, if you edit the loadout, you do not have to redo the squad and platoon. It references your file directly. It's only the firearms that are a bit special. They're only 150% covered. Don't worry, the game doesn't care about that right now. Those must be some heavy rounds. Or your gun's really heavy. So if you're kind of planning around a tournament, you're gonna have to manage the weight a bit better, but that's for later. Okay, so make sure to save your loadout, because that's important. And then head back to the map. I'm just gonna start uh, kind of planning. Okay, I'm gonna set up the only scenario that's kind of fun to play around with right now, which is attack versus. So what you will need is to at least think defenders its vantage point. So I'm just going to spawn a few platoons in. room. Very temperamental. It doesn't like it when you enter the room. So up one and 3 squads. You can add a new. Remember that your scenario flag. And I'll pick some different locations. Well, just imagine that our enemies kind of from the south. Here. And I will now create an objective. So an objective point. So for the first value, it takes the team that the objective point is for. So I'm picking our team. So that's 0. And then next, you are picking the objective type. Well, actually, I haven't used a hot week. About it. Okay, so our main objective starts 1. So I want these guys to defend that point. I'm gonna pick objective type 1, that's defend. And they're gonna go into formation, and the formation starts from the left. So your platoon leader is always gonna be the one standing on the objective point, and then the troops spread out to their right. So how you want that. And then now you want to pick your direction in this slide. So north starts at 0, and then it starts going clockwise. So 1 would be northeast, 2 would be east, 3 would be southeast, 4 would be south, 5 would be southwest, 6 would be west. So just kind of move your arm. That's the easy way to do. 5. So I want these guys to point southwest. So I'll pick 5. And boom, we should have an objective point. If you zoom in into the squad level, you will see the objective point appear on your. Okay, so you can make an objective point. So hopefully you have this. These. All right, you do. So again, this is a defensive type point. So you can see that objective number 0, that's its ID. So this ID is 0. And then I think that's actually the ID. And then you have the type and direction. So that gives you information if you want to select it in the future. And now to assign a unit to that objective point, we go to the bottom here, the assign objective point section. And I'm going to pick the ID of my unit. And then I'm going to pick the ID of the objective point. So in this case, they're both 0. So when you make objective points for the enemy team, their objective points also start at 0. So if I made an objective point for my enemy right now, and I had an enemy squad, I would assign that enemy squad to also objective 0. But it's their objective point 0. So I'm just going to press assign. And then now I can run turns and just to make sure. So you can see that they move in column to their objective. In this case. platoon leader steps there, and then the troops spread out into this defensive position. So hopefully you should have something like this. These objective points are basically like a really large cluster of different behaviors put together. Much easier to use kind of play. Yeah, you should have something like this map. When the command squad is going to the objective here. Interesting. Very curious. Tell me what happens when it gets to the objective. And then run a few more turns up. So I spawned into other platoons here. Um, and they're just chilling there. So I'm not sure how your platoon composition is, but depending on what you've done. Yeah. I'm just going to start assigning other objective points. So, okay, squad 1, let's have you guys south here, starting from this point, and then heading towards the right side of here. So that's going to be south. That's direction number 4. The other squads are just chilling. Not following. Okay. Uh. Do send your squad comp and platoon comp to Discord. Might be something interesting going. Okay, here I have another objective, and then here I go one. Assign it point because that's the R. And then here, this squad, this platoon goes here. Oh, did you accidentally pause me? Okay. Um, but yeah, send your platoon composition and squad composition in the Discord. But yeah, you can see with my other platoon. Now I have two platoons here fixed to the objective line. They're both defense. And I have one more here that I've yet to assign, but I'll wait to see what has went wrong with yours. No, I also have to do it because eventually your stuff will be using the behavior, the objective point stuff automatically. So if it doesn't work, then that's a big issue. The behavior points are objective points are actually less tedious because it actually does a lot of automatic commands for you, especially when enemies appear and objectives change. So that's kind of the only way that combat actually functions, at least functions well. Yeah, but it's less tedious than in the middle of combat setting behaviors every turn. Yeah, I know, this is not how I planned for it. Yeah, there's probably something wrong with your squad and platoon composition, which is why it's not working. And if that's not working, issue because the AI commanders will be very confused when they have to start assigning troops to different places automatically. Yeah, I was just talking about that, so you can watch um, the VOD later. Yeah, so using two different types of squads, right? In your thing, and you only have one command squad. Okay, that's yeah. Figure out how that works. So yeah, you might want to zip your yeah. I'll type it out as well. But yeah, you might want to folder again, send over, fix those interesting issues. Yeah, for me it's no problem. It should still work regardless. Yes, they will. But yeah, I don't. Yeah. I think you can kind of suggest them, but don't really have to. Um, like they're not gonna be added in like a year if that's what you're expecting. Because I have to finish the rest. But yeah, yeah, Meryl. No, you cannot have vehicles in the challenge. It's called the infantry platoon competition for a reason. Also, they're not implemented yet. But yeah. So 90-degree hit angle still going. Yeah, that's intended for now. If you remember last time when you were here when I was debugging this stuff, how it was kind of going over that. It's kind of like the solution. And I do still think they can move sideways, do that, but whatever. Whatever. I don't think they'll ever go to that range anyways, because um, the AI system will just kind of discard that distance because it won't do anything in the first place. That is definitely one of the calculations. Working shotgun shells? Maybe. So if I set the objective here 0, so we can give the. I just wanted to finish this combat first before doing anything else. Yeah. It should work. Wait. Right, line of sight. See these guys instantly emerge over the hill and get slaughtered. Look at these guys. Look at these fools rushing into the open, getting cut down by machine gun. Yeah. So these guys suffered enough casualties for the day and decided to retreat. Anyways, that was a fun little combat segment. Alright, let's go see what's wrong with Yahtzee's thing. Yahtzee. Well, we're gonna take his design. Okay, let's just make sure that it's his stuff. It kind of just merged. Uh, delete that. Receivers. Those are alright, that's his file. Oh, he literally copied my name. Butter. English? Let's just test it out. Start debugging behavior. I think some receivers are already long enough for their purpose. But yeah, it really depends where you're kind of aiming. Not really the action, the bolt mass, that type of thing. Let's see why the objective point does not work for him. There we go. Okay. CM bulb. What if it's made from tungsten? No. What if it magically? Okay. There we go. Okay, I got it to work. Yeah, you might be right. The mic is probably having a stroke. I've already changed the filter quite a bit. It's a lot better than it was when I tested it earlier. I adjusted it a lot. There's still probably some stuff wrong with it though. My mic is really, really dumb. This is much better than the mic I had before though. Quite happy with it, but yeah, it does have a stroke sometimes. Be patient with it. Okay. Go. So yeah, okay. Fun. Cool. I think that's going to be kind of it for this stream. This is just kind of more of a video to show people some of the combat stuff they're interested in, how that kind of works. Yeah, hope you all have a nice day. I have some other stuff to do. See ya.